than John Cena. Look at these. Hustle, loyalty, respect. That's his slogan?
Yeah.
It's reminding him to do this.
Because this makes him sweat so much.
Yeah. His slogan is Oprah's Book Club. It's just...
However you can make more money. That's exactly what
And he apologized.
Anyway, sorry.
All those useless muscles, and he's an absolute spineless pansy kowtowing to China because his overlords. This is the thing about this industry, guys. Let me tell you something before we go on with China. You wonder, doesn't this guy have FU money? My dad was just asking that. It's that you owe somebody something. Yeah. John Cena is owned by other people. And I don't mean there's some secret Bilderberg meeting. I mean that guy, even if he does think that Taiwan has the right to exist, can't say it. That's what, when you wonder, how can so many people in the entertainment industry get together and all have the same opinion? You would even think just by happenstance there might be some divergence. It's because you owe. You owe someone in the industry. And John Cena... Pussy, go ahead.
You're absolutely right.
Well, so, I mean, obviously, this is one of the reasons that I care about it is because China is exerting force over the entire world right now because we've outsourced factories to them. We've kind of kowtowed to them because they're a big financial powerhouse, and now they're making threats against a country that should be independent in Taiwan. And Taiwan is making some, they're having like a real come to Jesus moment here, knowing that this could happen really quickly, and they're
increasing their training with
reservists and everything else. So there's a quote from one of the reservists: "Nearly every day, my commanders would remind the men that the threat from China was growing." It's like like you needed to say that. Yeah. Ukraine
don't let them own assault weapons though.
Right. Don't let them train with the things they will actually need to defend their country. Ukraine showed us, another part of the quote, that you need to first show to others that you have the resolve to defend yourself. Only then will others come to your help. And that is true. And I appreciate that they understand that they have to stay and fight. This is not our country. You guys, if you're not willing to fight like we fought for our country, then why should we come over and help you guys? Because it's just going to be us doing it, leaving, and the same situation may be occurring again. So it doesn't really solve anything. Civilians, though, this is the favorite part for Mad John Cena over here. Civilians have also started participating in...
This makes me not want to help Taiwan.
Simulated
I've almost done a 180 in my position. Show the clip. You'll see why. God.
First comment, is that airsoft?
Yes.
Why is Casey shooting guns?
Yes.
Have to save ammo.
Yeah, that's how you want to defend your country. Spindly sleeve tattoos and a Willard haircut. There's a reason they make you buzz cut here.
的关系，对，那有确实的感觉到对岸的威胁，对，那所以才会想说再进一步的去对这些防卫性的这些武器有一些认识，这样子，对，那在之前是对急救方面。在乌克兰发生之前，是对急救方面比较有兴趣。
For those listening on audio, and by the way, you can subscribe on Apple and Android and Spotify, and I recommend you do. There's some content sometimes that you get there that you don't get here on YouTube or Rumble. They're talking about training up effectively as militia, reservists.
Right.
This should sort of answer a couple of questions for you. When people here argue, hey, what part of your ass is part of a regulated militia? Everyone. You see, those are just people. Here in the United States, people can get together and become any kind of a militia. The militia is the whole people. That's what Mason said. They were very, very clear. Militia, by the way, legally was defined as any able-bodied men capable of serving back then, capable of protecting their country. So you see this now, when push comes to shove, there you go. That's a militia. Those aren't people with military haircuts. Those are people with largely their own equipment in many cases, and they're using airsoft, which we all know is... it's exactly the same as firing an actual weapon.
Yeah, except
stop shooting me.
In no way whatsoever. It doesn't even have like kick to it.
Right.
Somehow they're moving.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's just because they're incredibly weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I think you're absolutely right.
Recoil.
Yes.
The word.
Recoil.
Recoil.
It's too late in the game to be able to think that you need weapons as you're being attacked. Like, oh crap! I wish our citizens had weapons. Don't you think Ukrainians right now wish that every able-bodied man had military training to be able to defend themselves against Russia? They're doing a decent job. But it would have been much
and look
better.
At that. Look at Ukraine and Russia. Look at what happened with the Taliban, for crying out loud. Guess what? When you're fighting on your own terrain, when you know you're the locale where you'll be fighting, guess what? You have a huge advantage. Yeah. Think about the home court advantage in sports games. You don't think so in the hills of West Virginia? You don't Louisiana and the swamps of Louisiana in Texas? These people who live here are going to know how to defend it better than people who've never set foot there are going to know how to attack it. That's absolutely true, not to mention the ability here to have incredible firearms, which we rightfully should. And I'm not being facetious. a part of me would like to see, if I were president, I would say, okay, Taiwan, talks are off the table. We will not help you, protect you, unless you allow every single citizen to have firearms. Oh, only shotguns? No. You allow them to have AR-15s. You allow them to have high-capacity semi-automatic rifles. The kind of stuff that you would need them to use during wartime. Because don't come to us for protection. When you haven't maximized your own resources. And the most important resource, as it relates to any kind of amphibious war that we might see with Taiwan, again, you can go back to a previous video, is going to be the citizens. And the citizens' ability, the militia, to protect themselves. I am so tired of the United States paying for the rest of the world and hearing the rest of the world bitch about how we pay for it. We're talking about Russia, Ukraine, Sweden. We want to be in NATO now? No! Hey, all I've heard you do is bitch about for years. Just talk down to the United States. If you had your socialized healthcare system, guess what? Pay for all of your socialized healthcare systems and pay for all of your social safety net bullshit, okay? Pay for all of it and back pay 2% of your GDP on military spending for NATO, for the last 60 years. Then we'll consider it.
Yeah. While you were paying for healthcare, we were building a military.
Yes.
To make sure that we could defend our own country and also help out a number of nations throughout the last 60 years.
Right. And I think Taiwan is far more important than Ukraine. I think that it would make sense for the United States to protect them. But you know what? They need to start. Back in the day, if we were to protect a country like Taiwan, protect a place like Taiwan, it would be, okay, now you speak our language and you pay taxes to us. If we were a king, if we were a monarchy, you don't go in and help another nation because you're dependent on them for chipsets. Guess what? Your chipsets are ours now. We get a commission because, why? Because you wouldn't exist if not for us. So it would have been colonization, which everyone here, which everyone wants to bitch about. How do you think the world works? How do you think the world works? Throughout history, you think Genghis Khan was paying for other nations to take in refugees? He was making refugees and killing them on the way out.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.